Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambeau channel, and it's time for a video on the topic of price for XRP and, of course, the crypto asset class at large. There are a number of articles, and one of them is talking about the quote-unquote glory days that we had in 2017, and yes, those were some rather glorious days, many of them anyway. I tell you what, it was a crazy time for me to be coming into the world of crypto, and I'm not the only one that jumped in around this time, but it was November 2017, found out about XRP, it's like, this could actually be useful, and then weeks later, it went from 20-something cents, it started going from 20-something cents to almost $4 in a matter of weeks. So by the time it was early January 2018, so I would definitely go ahead and call those glory days. That's fine. We can use that term. But there's an analyst also stating, hey, it's interesting. I'll share with you what he had to say in terms of like the current setup. But they're talking about something that I don't really see mentioned too frequently, which is like, okay, for this next next bull cycle, whenever it really kicks off, like how long is this particular cycle going to last? And there's an analyst that says years, like literal years. He's like, hey, we just consolidated for like 2.5 years or whatever the hell it is. And next time this thing goes off, just wait. And so it doesn't mean that every second of every day of the cycle is going to be something completely ridiculous, but we're talking about a general upward trend rather than trading sideways or going down if it looks like how things looked in the past. You just have random, whether it's Bitcoin or other altcoins, you just seemingly out of nowhere just have ridiculous parabolic movement, which is certainly what happened to XRP in December of 2017. It was awesome. And then institutions, in addition to all this, they're betting to the positive as well. So lots to talk about. Before we go any further, if you would please delicately tap the like button, I would definitely appreciate the support. And also, I recommend that you treat yourself, girl, by subscribing to the Moon Lambeau channel, because why the hell not? All right, as the time of recording this, XRP is at 24.2 cents. Bitcoin's at $11,505. You've got the market cap for the asset class at $357 billion, and Bitcoin dominance at 59.61%. Now, I do want to be clear, I don't have a financial background, and I am not offering financial advice, so you absolutely should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. I just think it's fun to talk about this stuff and make YouTube videos. But take a look at this. Now, in the short term, how bad things, if we go in the negative direction anyway, how bad might things get? Well, most of the chart analysts that I'm following, they've been basically sharing the same opinion over and over and over again for a number of days, which is it's the same thing that Dennis Surchuk here, who writes for Crypto Comes right now. He basically, I'll just summarize it for you rather than running through this whole piece here, but his feeling is that you might see a retest of maybe close to 22 cents for XRP. And really, there's all sorts of other analysts that are saying that, like Blockchain Backer, for example, the last time he was talking about this, he said, okay, yeah, it might get down to whatever that range was, and maybe for him it might have been 22.5 cents, whatever, but you get the feel for it. It's somewhere in that range just as a retest, and then other than that, off to the races. And the only one that's thinks it's more likely than not that I can think of off the top of my head that XRP actually go below that would be DIY investing. He still seems to think that perhaps you could see as low as 20 cents, but it doesn't matter. All of the analysts that I'm following right now, I can't think of a single exception to this off the top of my head at least, they all say, hey, there's a macro, very positive trend in place. So even if you see that type of negative price action and some people get squeezed out of the market, they sell out of fear, whatever it is, it's still going to be taking off tremendously to the upside. And I'll tell you what, I know what I hate, and I don't hate that. So take a look at this. This was a cool piece. This is titled, Here's Why Bitcoin Breaking Higher Now Would Trigger a Massive Move. And yes, I long for the day, which hopefully will come at some point, where cryptocurrencies are going to be judged on their own merits, right? Their own actual real-world adoption. But right now, Bitcoin leads the market, so I would love to see Bitcoin do well, because I personally believe that if Bitcoin does well, eventually XRP, even if it lags behind by 6 months or a year or who knows how long, I believe that XRP will eventually have its day again. Just effectively out of nowhere, which is what it was like last time, December of 2017 when it just went bonkers. But anyway, while Bitcoin has seen strong volatility on a day-to-day and week-to-week basis, it is flat on a macro scale. The crypto asset has basically traded in the same $3,000 range for 5 months now. This has allowed macro volatility indicators to subside to critical historical points. Volatility analysis by one fund manager in the space suggests that when a breakout happens, it will be explosive. He thinks it will be so explosive, in fact, that Bitcoin could hit $20,000 in 3 months if it attempted to break higher now. And what's funny, and again, as you'll see in this piece, they're talking about potentially the bull cycle lasting 4 years. So if that's the start and that really happens in the next few months, that would be a hell of a kickoff, wouldn't it? Then they have this little subheading, next Bitcoin breakout likely to be explosive. Bitcoin's next macro breakout is likely to be explosive according to analysis by crypto fund manager Mohit Sarut, whose name I am highly confident I am not pronouncing properly. Bad with form names. But anyway, Sarut is a founding partner of Bitazu Capital. He recently shared this chart below, which shows that on a macro basis, Bitcoin's volatility is extremely low. In fact, it's reaching lows seen rarely in Bitcoin's history, with these levels only occurring approximately once a year. This is neither bearish nor bullish in its own right. However, if Bitcoin breaks higher, historical trends indicate that the responding move should be one that is explosive. Each rally and crash after volatility was this low historically, was explosive. For one, prior to the crash from $6,500 to $3,200, Bitcoin macro volatility was this low. So not a guarantee, obviously, that that's the direction it would go and to be massive, but it's potentially in the cards here. And so this suggests, should Bitcoin break higher here, it will rip higher to new year-to-date highs. And here's a quote: "Calm before the storm. If Bitcoin was to break out today, it would most probably reach its previous all-time high of $20,000 within 3 months." Now, and this is not the only individual that's talking about this type of timeline, too. Fundamental analysts agree. Dan Tapiero, the co-founder of DTAP Capital, Gold Bullion International, and other companies, recently said that Bitcoin could rapidly surge higher in the years ahead. And here's a quote. Check this out. I love this one. "Tremendous long-term log chart of Bitcoin projects up 5 to 10x on this run. Just breaking up now should last a few years, as 2.5-year consolidation is fantastic base for catapult up. A break of old highs will have explosive follow-through. Time to sit and be patient." And so, I know that there are tons of new people entering the space right now, and for somebody like me that's only been in this almost 3 years, it's not like it's nothing. That's actually a substantial portion, like in terms of percentage of the time this asset class has existed, because it's about 10 years. So, being around for about 30% of that, almost anyway, that's I guess it's kind of notable at this point. But the vast majority of the time that I've been in the space, we've been in a bear market, and so if indeed the next time things really start to go positive, we're going to have a few years of that, I will not be complaining. So we shall see. But anyway, they wrap up by stating in this piece, this has been echoed by Vinny Lingham, CEO of Civic. He said that Bitcoin could appreciate by 200% to 400% in the coming 12 months as macro trends align in Bitcoin's favor. And so look, and I fully anticipate to just get ready for this when the rest of the market starts going Bitcoin, and then there will be some other high cap coins. If XRP behaves the same way that it has in previous run-ups in terms of price action, I anticipate there are going to be a ton of XRP holders that'll suddenly start complaining about how XRP isn't doing anything. I saw this firsthand in December of 2017, people selling, and then XRP took off from 20-something cents to almost $4, and I fully suspect that we're going to see that type of activity again. So how about that? I don't know if you guys are hearing that on the mic. Thank you, people. somebody's clearly setting off a bunch of fireworks. I don't know if the mic's picking that up, but it definitely distracted me. Sincere apologies. It's like my grandpappy used to say, people are no damn good. Ain't got no respect for Moon Lambo trying to focus on recording a YouTube video for the peoples. Really grinds my gears. And then there was this headline. I'm not really going to run through the piece, but I did want to share this because just the general sentiment is of this. This is all I keep seeing over and over and over again. This comes from ambcrypto.com. This piece was titled, "These Bitcoin signals are similar to its 2017 glory days." So you can see the direction that just everywhere I look. I'm really not seeing a lot of bearishness, unless you're talking about potentially retesting, for this case with XRP, recent lows of about 22 cents or other coins in similar situations. Other than that, no, people say there's a rather bullish macro trend in place, which is why I think things, if they're right, things could be very interesting sooner than later. Even if we have to wait another year, I'm not going to complain. I mean, hell, I've been accumulating a good bit of XRP this year, and I have been purchasing for almost 3 years at this point, but a ton of it this year. And so, just for tax purposes, I would not hate it if the real XRP rally didn't happen for another year, because the way it works in the United States, at least, is you're taxed based off of your income bracket unless you've held whatever asset is in question, in this case XRP, for at least a year. And then if you have, and I'm not offering advice, I'm just sharing with you my understanding at this point, but then the maximum tax would be just 20%. Which would be better than if you're taxed, because think about it, like what if you have truly life-changing money coming in through XRP, but you're taxed at whatever that income level would be, like if it were just a regular salary, like that would be, you'd be paying like, who knows, twice as much in tax. It would be crazy. So I personally would not mind if it's at least a year away, but I don't know. I can't control that, so we will just kind of see here. And then there's this piece. I'll mention this before wrapping up here. It comes from CoinDesk. It's titled, "Institutions Take Record Bullish Bets in Bitcoin Futures, Shrugging Off Exchange Missteps." And I haven't really talked too much about it on the channel here, but there's been some not-so-fun things happening with exchanges, including BitMEX, which, I mean, there are criminal charges that have been filed with people associated with what they've been doing. I'm not going to really get into it in this video, but point being, despite this, from an institutional perspective, the outlook just seems to be bullish. And you can see here, institutions recently raised their bullish bets in Bitcoin futures, listed on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, or CME for short, to the record level set last month amid signs of market maturity. Interesting, right? Again, everywhere I look, it's just positive story after positive story. And I'm telling you, this is not what it's been like for most of the time that I've been in crypto. You get occasional positive stories, but just to see this many crypto media outlets and analysts seem to be in lockstep to this degree, from my perspective, it just is not normal. It's not what I've seen for the vast majority of the past 3 years. Because, yeah, I mean, the first couple months of being in crypto was super duper fun because I came in at the most ridiculous, exciting time in the history of the crypto asset class in terms of price action, but that was very short-lived. That was definitely very short-lived. So we shall see. But I'm just going to be patient as a heck, and whatever happens, happens. Whatever the timeline, I'm all good for it. Whatever. But I will wrap it up there. Feel free to drop a comment below. I'd love to hear what you guys are thinking in terms of your personal sentiment. Are you optimistic for the future of XRP in terms of price action? Where do you think the market's going? Let me know. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!